Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Train Station. As always, I am your host, A-Train, and the NFL just dropped a schedule release, so I'm going to go over the Lions with you, give you my thoughts and predictions on what I expect from them this season. Alright, so starting off, we got week 1 in prime time, the first NFL game of the season against the reigning Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. This is one of those games where I would rather have the Lions play them early rather than late because I think they can catch them off guard. I think it'll be closer. Ultimately, I think it'll be closer than probably everybody and the experts think. But ultimately, I think Patrick Mahomes, the reigning Kansas City Chiefs, get the win. So that's an L for the Lions to start the season. Week 2. At home against Seattle. Seattle had a really good draft. This one I think could go either way, which Geno Smith is going to show up. But I think Seattle has Detroit's number. I think that's a loss as well for Detroit. So they start off 0-2. They have Atlanta week 3 at home. Green Bay week 4. Atlanta week 3. Desmond Ridder has the weapons to be successful in Atlanta, but I think the Lions bounce back. Finally getting a W. So 2-1 for the Lions right now, 1-2 for the Lions right now, as they head in on a short week at Green Bay. Another Thursday night primetime game. Green Bay, no Aaron Rodgers, easy win for the Lions. They won even with Aaron Rodgers, so there's a win for the Lions that makes it 2-2, sitting at 500. Going into the Panthers, I expected the Lions to win this game a year ago. They did not. Carolina, much more improved team. Which Bryce Young is going to show up though? I don't really know, but I think the Lions ultimately take the L here to drop to 2-3. Tampa Bay is going through a massive rebuild. There's no Tom Brady. They're not the same team that they once were. I think ultimately Detroit pulls this one out, and I think if they beat Carolina, then they lose to Tampa Bay. So they're sitting at 3-3, almost halfway through the season. Baltimore, Lamar Jackson back in Baltimore, and I just think Baltimore is too good of a team. That's a loss there for them. Vegas, Jimmy Garoppolo, but they lose Derek Carr. Ultimately a win for the Lions. So they're sitting at the bye week at 500, which is pretty much expected at 4-4. And I think after the bye week is when it starts to really get important. That Monday night game is their third primetime game, by the way. Already 3 primetime games before week 8. I think they win 2 out of the 3 primetime games. They have 5 primetime games total, which we'll get to later. Sunday, November 12th, the week after the bye week, Chargers. Chargers are a much better team, but I think the bye week will do well for the Lions. I think the Lions beat the Chargers here. I think they beat the Bears here. Bears, even though Justin Fields and them, much improved team, I still think they have a little bit left. Thanksgiving against Green Bay, that is a win. The Lions come out of the bye with 3 straight wins, sitting at 7-4, which could probably be their peak this year. New Orleans, still going to be a very competitive team. Derek Carr and company over there. Alvin Kamara, I think that's an L for the Lions. Drops them to 7-5. Chicago will get Detroit at home, so Chicago will take it there, 7-6. I think Denver, even with Russell Wilson and all of them, still not that great of a team. I expect the Lions to take that one. That's now 8 wins for the Lions. Minnesota on the road. I got the Lions losing that. Saturday primetime game, December 30th, right before New Year's, Dallas. They put out an embarrassing performance last year in Dallas. For my sake, as somebody who's now in Dallas, I hope for the sake of them they can have a much better performance. Primetime, lights on. This game could have a lot of meaning to it. Both teams could be in the playoff hunt at this point. I think ultimately, though, the Cowboys beat the Lions, and then the Lions finish off the season with the win at Minnesota. So if we go down and look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 losses, 9 wins. They're really not too much of an improved team from a year ago. This is about where I expect the Lions to be. Should be good enough to win the division. Ultimately should be good enough to win the division and make the playoffs for the first time. But I don't actually know what's going to happen with that. I'm very excited to see. I mean, this could easily be a W here. Seattle could be a win. This could be a loss. This could be a win. Probably a loss. You know, a lot of these games could be flip-flopped. The Lions could easily, you know, take a couple of these. Like, they could take Minnesota twice. They could take Dallas. If Dallas has nothing to play for here, Detroit could take that one. They could surprise people and beat Baltimore or Kansas City. So ultimately, Lions could end up winning 10, 11, maybe even 12 games. But realistically, you're looking at pretty much the same team as last year. They won't start off nearly as bad as they did last year when they started off 1-5. But you're ultimately looking at a slightly improved team that's looking to get better. The NFL is buying into the Lions hype with 5 primetime games, that being Dallas, Vegas right here, Green Bay, Kansas City, all primetime, and then technically if you consider Thanksgiving primetime as well, that is another primetime game for Detroit. So it really is just the Lions are being bought in by the NFL. Everybody's buying the hype of the Lions. I don't see it quite yet. They're still not quite there. The defense will hopefully is much improved from a year ago, but I still think they're about a year or two away. Playoff would be great, as I haven't seen the Lions make the playoffs in quite some time, and it would be great post-Stafford era to finally make the playoffs. But yeah, that's what the schedule is looking like. Not great. Not terrible, but you know, hopefully some improvement in there. Maybe they take some of those L's and turn them into W's so that they do improve. But overall, I think you're looking at a pretty average Lions team, especially since they really didn't improve that much. Yeah, they added the secondary and they got Jack Campbell and company in the draft, but is that really enough to put them over the edge and become much better than they were last year? Probably not. So that is my Lions prediction for the 2023 season. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Sound off in the comments below. Let me know who your favorite team is and what you think their record will be. Or if you have a video on them, I would love to check it out to see what you think. And if you're a fan of any of these teams I have taking a loss to the Lions, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. So yeah, that is my predictions, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. The next video I have planned is something a little different and more fun. I'm gonna get away from the sports bubble for a little bit, as I've been having this plan for a while, but I wanted to get this video out as I miss football, so this is a way for me to cope with not having football around. That's my Lions schedule. Going back into the gaming realm of YouTube, not streaming, but I will have a gaming type video coming up in my next video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, drop in the comments below if you agree or disagree, and who your favorite team is, and let me know what you think their record is going to be. I will catch you guys later this week for another video. Peace.